All right, we are live. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. It is such a pleasure to have you here today on this fine Saturday afternoon. I know it's lunchtime, so just grab your lunch and sit with us as we discuss living and teaching in the UK. Today we have a wonderful guest with us, and I'm going to bring her on in a few minutes. Let me just introduce myself for those who don't know. I am Connie C. Walcott, and I am currently living and teaching in the Middle East in a country by the name of Kuwait. So, for my last few videos on my YouTube channel, I have been um, sharing with you along with some of my very kind colleagues who are living in different countries across the world. They have been sharing with you so that you can be aware of all the opportunities that are out there for us as teachers. So it's not just about Kuwait and the Middle East, but there are so many other countries where you can go as a teacher to find jobs and to also have a good experience. All right. So if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe right now. Also, like and share this live with your friends and family so that they can join us. No, we're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste any time because I know you all want to get back to your Saturday afternoon. And my guest, Kedesha, she is in the UK. And so I think it's getting close to her bedtime. All right, so I'm going to bring her on right now.
Hello.
All right, now I'm hearing you. Welcome, Kedesha. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I know this is going to be automatically added to the channel, so I'm not
Okay.
really going to wait for persons to come because they will be able to watch after a while. All right, so we're going to start with the few persons who are here. I see Kimonia Clark. I also see
Yeah.
Tamisha Roberts. Welcome. Tamisha is saying hi, Kedesha. All
Hello,
right.
Tanisha. How are you?
Hey, my beautiful Madam Senior Lady. Awesome. Yes. Welcome, guys. All right. So I'm going to start with an introduction and then we're going to get into the interview. All right. So Kedesha Blake-Huggins, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name
Yeah.
correctly. Awesome. Is a self proclaimed visionaire, which is a combination of visionary and millionaire. I really like that. Who hails from the parish of Clarendon. She achieved her degree in science education at the Michael University College, where she served as the first vice president, or what some of you might know as senior lady, of the Guild of Students in her fourth year. She now resides in the UK, where she teaches science at the secondary level. Personal development is a key passion of hers, and so she has ventured into the field of life coaching, impacting one life at a time. Kedisha's key quote is run your own race. Welcome, Kedisha.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's show her some love in the comments. It's such a privilege and a pleasure to have you here. And I want to take the time to personally thank you for agreeing to come and share with us. All right. All right. So I see some other persons coming in. Welcome, guys. So good to have you. All right. So I'm going to jump right into it. All right. So my first question to you, Kedesha, is what made you decide to teach abroad and in extension, why the UK?
Well, I was really having a wonderful experience. I before I came here, I was at Kingston College, and I was having a very good experience there. But I'm always searching for avenues of growth. So I when I was at KC, I started many initiatives there, including a
Wow.
cultural program. But I thought well, to myself, I thought that had reached my growth potential at KC, and I wanted to see what else was out there. So a friend of mine, and I think she's joining this live as well.
Awesome.
We worked together at Casey, and she decided to come to the UK to teach. And she told me about her experience, and and she asked me to come as well. So I said, okay, let me give it a try. It's good. It's a bit scary, but it's definitely somewhere where I can grow and learn more.
Awesome, awesome. I definitely feel the same way about making the decision to teach in Kuwait. Awesome. Welcome to Tamisha, Kalia, and Kernam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, awesome. And I was in the same position. I have two colleagues who came to Kuwait first, and they told me about it, and they told me about their experience, and that really helped to make the decision, right? So our path is definitely similar. All right. So, what company or what program did you use to sign up for jobs in the UK?
Okay,
Like,
so
what's the process like, really?
for the process.
Yeah.
So what happened is that my friend sent me, usually they send us every year, they will send us an email saying that if we know of any quality teachers, which we know Jamaican teachers are very quality teachers,
Oh, yeah.
they'll send us an email and ask us to, basically forward the email to people that we know that might be interested. So my
Okay.
friend, as I told you before, sent that email to me. And then I sent an email to Hourglass Education. That's the name of the agency. You have many others, but that is the one that I have used, and my colleagues at my current place of employment. That's the
Uh-huh.
organization that they came with as well. And after I sent the email, they responded and told me that they would be having interviews in Kingston. I think it was around February that they were having those interviews. And after that, now they will ask you for your resume, and then they will send you a CV template, and you use that template to set up your own CV, and then you resend it to them. All right. And
Oh,
from there, if there are any job opportunities, they will send you an email. And then from there, the process continues.
okay, so what's the name of the company? And do they only recruit by recommendation, or you can just go online and sign up on your own?
Well, the name of the company is Hourglass Education. And no, they don't only accept people via referral. You can also type Hourglass Education into Google, and then you may send them an email or call them directly.
Okay. Awesome.
And oh, I think you asked another question about do they only recruit via referral.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, are there any specific requirements or anything specific that they're looking for in teachers when the
Well, as I said before, they're looking for excellent teachers, and we know that when it comes to teaching Jamaicans, we are very excellent at that. So that is not a anything to prevent you from applying. But you also need a first degree. And I was speaking with the agency yesterday because I wanted to get as much information as possible to share with everyone. And they were saying that in the past, they recruited mostly maths and science teachers, sometimes English, but no, they're recruiting right across the board. So it's not just about maths and science anymore. So if you're an information technology teacher, Spanish teacher, you can apply as well.
awesome. All right. So what I'm getting is you must have a first degree.
Yes.
Um, does it have to be specific to the subject area? So
That
if you're
I'm not
applying to
so
teach
sure.
math, do you have to
Mm.
have like math degree?
Yes, you would have to. You would have
Okay.
to, definitely. Yes.
And what about it?
Um,
Um, go ahead.
Experience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
I could read your mind. All right. So okay. So when I applied, I only had 1 year, 1.5 year experience. But from my contact at the agency, they don't really require experience. It will be good to have experience, but they have recruited people just out of college as well. So because what they
Awesome.
said to me is that people out of college, they're fresh with new ideas, student-centered learning, so they are willing to take those people on as well. But of course, experience would be really good.
Awesome. I say that all the time. I say that all the time. Persons who are just leaving college, they are fresh with ideas
Hmm.
and everything. So when people say, "Oh, you must have this amount of experience," I'm like, but anyway, all right. So that's very good. That's very good. All right. Welcome to those who are just joining us. I see Kimberly West. I see Obik Wright. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here speaking with Kedesha, who is currently living and teaching in the UK. All right. Please hold your questions until at the end. So just in case, um, if there's something that she didn't cover, then maybe you can ask your question at the end. All right. Next question. All right. Other than Hourglass, though, do you know any other company that recruit teachers for the UK?
Well, I was, watching your earlier podcast. Was it, well, your YouTube live with the young lady from China? And
Yeah.
of course, Indeed.com and Test Education are other areas that you can use to apply. But the other agency that I know about is Quantum Scholars. That's another one, Quantum
Phantom.
Scholars. I applied with them, but I got through with Hourglass before,
Okay.
their thing went through.
All right. All right, no problem. I'll definitely get the link to Hourglass and that one,
Oh,
Quantum Scholars. Yeah, and leave it in the description for you guys at the end of the live. All right. So this is one of my number one questions. What are the benefits of teaching in the UK, or what are the major benefits of teaching in the UK?
all right. So I'm always going to speak from my personal experience. It does not
That's
mean that you will come and have the same experience. Your experience might be even better than my experience.
so
I,
true.
Yeah, I think one of the major thing about teaching in the UK is just learning about this culture. It is so much different. The students, they're very good student. You have very good students and you have very bad students, and you have the ones that are in between, just the same as you do in
Yeah.
Jamaica. They take a little while to warm up to you, but once they're very loving and caring. Benefits just overall as an educator, watching your students grow and become more confident in who they are and what they have to offer into the world. It's not just
Mhm.
about teaching science for me, it's about teaching them to, navigate life.
Mhm.
Another experience, you know, is not so much a teaching experience, but I love the fact that we're very close to the European countries. So, and the travel from here to Europe is very inexpensive, not cheap, very inexpensive, and you can get to meet people from different cultures. You can get to learn new. We have a lot of workshops, so we learn about new teaching methods.
Awesome.
Some things that I send to my vice principal, my former vice principal in Jamaica. I send her ideas as well, and we talk about different things that we can do, to impact the education system in Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah. And
Yeah.
those benefits are definitely important. Some persons might think it's just about money. It's just
Mm.
about money, but those are extremely, extremely important. But speaking about money, and I mean you don't have to say exactly how much you're making, but
Hold on, what's going on? I'm not hearing you anymore, Connie.
are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah. So
Oh gosh, you're gone again. Ah, I'm not hearing you. What happened? That just went. Okay, God. Hello? I'm not hearing you. But you were asking me, boy, asking me about the money. So you're muted. All right. I don't know what's happened. Should I leave and try to get back in?
Hello, hello, hello. Is there any audio? No? Is there anyone who is hearing me? Please let me know if the audio has improved. Hearing me now? Hello, Kedesha, hearing me? Kedesha, are you hearing me? All right. Good, good, good.
Are we back? Are we good?
All right, we should be good now. I must apologize, guys. I am not sure what caused the interruption at all. And I think that this one would have been going, I think we were going so smoothly.
That's how technology is, huh?
Oh my God. All right, any comments from the chat? Are you hearing us now? All right, yes, I can see. I am. Yes, we can hear. We are okay. Good, good, good.
Oh, we're talking
Oh
about
my
the
God.
money. The
Oh
money.
my.
The devil said, no, no, no. Cut it off right now.
I wonder if that's the reason why, because we brought up money. All right. So yeah, as we were on the topic, so what's like the salary package like? And are there any benefits in terms of housing or stuff like that? Or how does it work? Or does that work for the UK?
All right. Money. Even when I was researching and no one spoke about the money, I'm not going to tell anyone how much I make,
No,
but I
definitely.
can tell you a range, right? And the
Yes.
range that I've heard from my colleagues and other people I've met since I've been here is around from £25,000 per year, maybe for an English teacher, to for the science and math teachers, it's about £28,000 to £40,000. But when you just get here, you will be paid on not on the main scale because you're not considered to be a qualified teacher when you use your Jamaican degree. It's
Okay.
after, say, a year or so or less, you may apply for your qualified teacher status, and it is then that you will get a bit more money, and from there you can work your way into a leadership position where you'll get even more money, right? But the range that I've heard of so far for maths and science is from £28,000 to £40,000.
Awesome. And you guys can definitely go ahead and work that out in Jamaica. All right. So, in terms of housing benefits, or what's that like, and transportation?
All right, so housing, no benefits as it pertains to housing. You'll have to pay your rent just the same. As I said before, from my experience,
Yeah.
some of you may have family members here you can maybe stay with, or you can usually when you're coming, Hourglass will send you an email with everyone's email address. So you can try and do housing with those people. So you can pair up or do a group housing where you pay less money. Usually you can't really rent a flat. We call it flat over here instead of apartment. You can't really rent a flat from Jamaica because people want to know that you're really coming, you're committed, and all of that. So when you come, you may have to do a house share, and there are two sites you can look on for that. One site is spareroom.com, spare room, and you have right move as well, rightmove.com. I'm making a note of them as well. I'll send you that information.
Okay,
Right,
no problem. Uh,
rightmove.com and spareroom.com. All right, there are some other points, Connie, that I would like to mention I forgot to mention earlier.
sure, no problem. Go
All
ahead.
right, so another thing that I need to tell you is that and this is from my experience, agencies are not allowed to collect any money from you, right? So it's not like when you see those programs on job sites and they say, oh, you have to pay this amount of money for you to get through, for you to be trained or registered. No, you don't have to pay the agency and no any money at all. The schools pay the agencies to recruit you, right? What you will have to pay is your visa fee and your health surcharge. And the health surcharge is what gives you access to the NHS, which is the medical bit of it, right? That's the charge that you pay to the government before you come here. When I was coming here, the health surcharge was £400, and you had to pay for 3 years in advance. And then when you get here, you request a refund for 2 years, okay? But no, the health surcharge is 600 plus pounds. Yes, it's going up every year, so it's a good time to apply before it gets to 1,000.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah. And the visa fees are about 460 something or 80 something pounds. I think it raised recently, but by about £20.
Okay.
Also, so don't if an agency says I can get you here and you need to pay me this money, you need to do a side eye for that agency. The agency is not allowed to collect money from you. All right. Let's see what else I've left out. Um, and applying as well, you don't have to apply at a specific time. I got through in April, right? Some people usually their recruitment times are like August, January, but apply year round, you can get through. Right?
Okay.
Who may just need someone and you're there and you're available. Yeah,
All right.
those are the
Awesome.
extra bits.
All right, awesome. All right, and it's similar for Kuwait as well. Most, if not all, the recruiters, they don't collect money from you. No registration fee, no program fee. So it's not like work and travel where you have to pay all of this money and stuff. No. Once they say they're going to collect money, just be careful, beware of that, because these recruiters, as Kedesha said, the schools already paid them to recruit teachers, right? So the most you might have to pay for is like your visa fees and some of the fees that Kedesha mentioned. So if you're planning on teaching in the UK, you definitely need to save up some money so that you can pay for those little expenses, because you will need to pay for them before you leave Jamaica.
Mhm.
Right? All
And
right.
don't forget the plane fare. The plane is,
Oh,
especially because it was not really a plan. I did not get a plan in advance to say, okay, I'm going August, so I can look for cheap tickets or so. I it was just like I applied in April, I got through in
right.
April, I just had to pack everything up and leave. So the plane ticket was very expensive as well. And think about your housing before you leave. Don't come here and say, oh, I'm going to stay with my friend. Think about the housing in advance and have a plan A, B, C, D, right?
Yes, yes,
As
yes.
it pertains to usually as well, you need to have 6 months well, you need to have enough funds to that you can survive on for 6 months, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what the schools do over here, and from my personal experience, is that my school sponsored myself and my husband. So they basically vouched for you to say that you will be able to maintain yourself. But even though they vouch for you, does not mean that they're going to give you any money. You still have to ensure you have your at least two
Your
months
own
rent or
money.
3 months rent. 3 months rent, I only had 1 month rent, so you can take a risk. But 3 months rent, and you can sustain yourself until you get paid. I
Uh,
started working the 25th of April and I got paid in May. So that wasn't bad at all. But there are some times where it takes a longer time for
there
you to
might
get
be
paid.
delays. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's definitely true. So you have to be prepared for all of that. It's the same thing with Kuwait. I always say ensure that you have enough money to buy food, all your necessities, and all of that for at least a couple of months, right? And I always say ensure you have a plane ticket to go back home. Because if you get there and you don't like it, you can just spin your roll,
No,
right? So,
Connie, I'm going to disagree with you. I want to disagree with you because when I just came here, I said, God, what did I do? I want to go back home. I had like a culture shock when I just came here.
yeah,
But
me too.
we need to have a burn the boat mentality. You burn the boat because it's either you sink or you swim. You're not going back. Not that
Mm,
we're not going back to Jamaica, but you have to have
tough
that
it out.
victory mindset to say, I'm going to do it. I remember calling my mom and she said to me, Kedesha, guess what? Don't allow anyone to take your vision away from you. You have your vision, you have your plan, and it doesn't matter what, is thrown at you. You need to get focused and go through it and grow through it as well. So burn the boats and let's go and get that victory.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense because it's that attitude that kept me here for the first year because it was pretty tough. I know as Jamaicans we don't give up that easily, right? So yeah, definitely, I totally agree with you. All right, so there's some other persons that joined us. Um, welcome, welcome, welcome. Right. I see some comments in the chat. I think there's some persons here that are currently in the UK.
Yes,
Right.
Tamana is here, my friend. She's the one
Well,
that's
welcome. Kanil said where he is, he got salary advance, but it might not be the same case with everyone. Right. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there is usually like okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because we're considered, well, I'm no longer unqualified. I now have my QTS, but because when we come here, we're considered to be unqualified. The schools do give you a stipend to bring up that sum. So you're not paid like $23,000. You're given like a 28,000 onwards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
some schools even better than that. So it depends.
All right. Awesome. All right. Someone said plane fare is worse in the summer, so you might have to
Mm.
pay a little bit more for plane fare in the summer. Oh my God. All right. Marique says it's good to have someone in the UK. You can use their address. When you come to get bank account here, they need proof of address. And if you just land, you've got no proof of address. I
Okay.
think, Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can comment on that. So when we got here, before we could receive any pay, we had to have a bank account, as was said by the person who commented. But what you can do is to receive a letter from your school. All right. So wherever you are residing, the school will have had your address to say, even if it's a house share, it doesn't have to be your personal property. Um, you give the school your address, and the school can you can use your contract from your workplace, basically. Use your contract to access a bank account. And the bank that I used was HSBC Bank. So it's definitely possible.
All right.
Wherever you're staying, if it's not your property, just have the schools give you your contract and you can take it to the bank. That can be used.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Marie says, if you take a loan to pay fees before leaving Jamaica, in no time you'll pay it off. So that's definitely a plus. Yep. All right.
Yep.
All right. So, next question. I think this ties in with some of the things that we were discussing. My next question would be, what is the cost of living like? But I mean, in terms of food, maybe recreation, if you want to go out, have fun and stuff like that. What is it like?
Well, from my experience, because I'm not a spendthrift, you have people that they go to the Clark store, Nike, those things. I'm going to live like a pauper until I can make it that way. So it's definitely a lifestyle that you can adjust to. It can be inexpensive as well as it can be very expensive. It
Mhm.
depends on what your lifestyle is. All right. Just as the same in Jamaica, you're making a certain amount of money in Jamaica, but it's how much you save and how you plan your money, how you make your money work for you. So you can definitely make it here, but it depends on your lifestyle. As it pertains to utilities, the utilities, I think, from my experience, because I teach outside of London, London is quite expensive, but I teach outside of London, like 1 hour outside of London. So utilities are not very expensive. Rent is can range from say £650 to even £2,000. It's up to what you like. Um, House shares can go from £300 onwards for the month as well if you're sharing accommodation with other people. My friend in London, Saman, I'm sorry for talking your business. My friend in London, she currently shares. She has a roommate. So London is
Yeah.
expensive, but she has a roommate, so it cut you basically split everything down the middle.
Mhm.
Also, teachers that work in London are given a subsidy, right? So it's basically for the excessive cost that you have to incur, they give you a little extra money. Utilities can be below £50 for light, below £50 for water. Everything is below £50. But what you'll have to pay when you start living in your own flat is
Mhm.
something we call council tax, which
Oh.
is over £100. Other than your rent, you have to pay council tax
Wow.
and you have to get a TV license. I know some of my friends that don't have TV license, but I'm not taking that risk. So I have it. Once you have any sort of electrical device in your home, TV, laptop, those things, you have to get a TV license. And that is about £25.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then
Transportation. Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No problem.
Transportation. All right. So for where, well, you can choose where you live. So where I live, when I just came here, I could walk to school. But
Mhm.
I hated when I was on holiday and I saw the school. From the first time you're here and you're timid and you're just out of your mind.
I
And every time
know.
I was
I know.
past, every time I was passing the school, I used to do this. Like I didn't want to see the school. I was so happy when I got holidays. And then I decided to live in the town. And so my husband currently walks to work, but I take a bus to work. But of
Okay.
course, the bus is not very expensive. For those living in London, they buy they have an Oyster card that they top up and they use it on the different buses. Here in the countryside, we just buy a bus card for the month. How much is it for me? £25 for the month to travel back and forth. Yeah, even on weekends. So this is not bad at all.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Yep. I think there's some expenses, but if you prioritize and live like Kedesha, don't do like me who go shopping every now and then. Just kidding. But you can definitely pay your bills and still save, right? You can definitely pay your bills and still save and still accomplish whatever goals you might have. All right, awesome. Next question, and this is a more relaxed question. What do you normally do for fun while living in
Oh
the UK?
gosh. Well, I'm really a homebody. Well, I'm an
Don't
in-betweener.
don't tell me you don't go out to see the beautiful UK.
Well, I got here in 2019, so I was adjusting to life, trying to find my way around. But I go for walks with my husband. We have been planning a picnic for some time now. It has not happened, but we're working on that.
Oh, that's
We have
really
taken several trips to London where we have gotten lost and, taken the wrong train, go to some strange places. But we love to explore and find out our environment. I've for fun, for me personally, I do massage. I do my spa days. I go to London, get a massage. I
nice.
go to the zoo. There are many things to do. I've still not really explored as much as I should. I'm thinking about getting to some of those European countries next year, really exploring. I visit my friend in London as well, and we go to Jamaican restaurants and all over the place.
Uh,
London Bridge. There are many sightseeing. I really have not really gone to everything I need to go to, but I'm working on it. But there are many things.
all right. Just before I get back to some of my other questions, I wanted to ask, since I just asked about recreation, what's the experience like there with the COVID restrictions and stuff like that?
Oh.
What like
Hmm. Is it just at work or just overall?
overall? Just give us something overall.
Well, the experience here, well, the first lockdown, everyone was very scared. So even if we were going outside, everyone was extremely cautious and wearing their mask. But no, it is not. I'm assuming because everyone is being vaccinated now, it's not as stringent as before, but people are still taking precautions. So
Oh,
initially, if you're going to the supermarket, you had to be in a queue outside. Now you can walk in and out freely, but
oh,
you must wear your mask. Wherever you're going, you have to wear your mask. And usually they have like a sanitizing station at the front of the store or the supermarket or wherever you're going.
all right. So so school is open. Students are doing face-to-face classes now.
Yes, we
Okay.
have been doing face-to-face classes since September. So we have been back in school in
Oh,
September. What we had was a keep left policy on the corridor where the students, we were only allowed to go on while you're walking, you have to be on your left. So if there's a space in the middle. We also had to wear our mask, and the students were placed in zones where the year
oh,
11s are on one floor, year 10s on the other floor. They were placed in zones. So if there was any outbreak at all, they could send home that batch of students to protect the other students. Where
okay.
currently the students are no longer in zones. We're back, the teachers are back in their rooms, because when you teach here as well, you get your own classroom. That's your space, you know.
Okay.
So we're back in our rooms, and what's the precautions now is that students take a COVID test 3 times per week, and they have to report that test before they come into school. The teachers are also required. So we test on Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings, and we submit our results to the NHS and then also to the school, and then we go in. So we have seen a lot less cases in school because we are all testing, we're all keeping safe. When the students enter the classroom, we stand at the door in our mask. Some people wear a face shield. I don't, but some people do. And you hand out the sanitizer. Well, you give your students and sanitizer. They're also given wipes to wipe off their tables, especially if there was a class in there before. And we keep our safe distance away from the students as well. So it is pretty safe here as it
Okay.
pertains to teaching in a school.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds good. All right. So, on the note of classroom, what's the class sizes like, um, in secondary?
All right, so typical class size is maybe 25 and over. I know my school, for instance, tried to keep the classes to 25, but sometimes when you have a student in particular that is not maybe meshing well, for lack of a better word, meshing well with a particular teacher, they may change a student to a different class. And so sometimes you have that 25 increasing to 30, especially for my classes where my students are always wanting to come to my always wanting to come to my class. So I have classes from 25 to 30. But I do have classes as well that have maybe 14 or 18 students, and those are the students that may require extra help. So we
Oh,
call those classes core boosters. So those students, it's not a lot of students for
mhm.
those classes.
All right, awesome. We're coming down nicely. Welcome to those who are just joining. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, I'm here with Kedesha, and we're getting there. All right. So in terms of resources, even you're a science teacher, are your teaching resources readily available? How do you find it?
Yeah. So
That's
I've only had experience in this particular school. I have colleagues that have been here for the same amount of time that I have, and they have gone on to their second or third school. So this is my only experience. So forgive me if it's not your experience. Um,
or
this
no problem.
it's a lot different from Jamaica in the sense that students, they don't buy their own notebooks, their own glue sticks, their own pens. All of those things are provided for them, right? So now with COVID-19, the students are encouraged to take in their own stationery, but we still do provide it for them. That is the culture here. My school is an academy, so it's not a grammar school as we would consider the traditional schools in Jamaica. We call
Mm-hmm.
those grammar schools here. And I'm told that grammar schools, they have their tablets and all of that. But we have those things too, but it's not for everyone. Um, so as it pertains to my classroom, you're equipped with a computer, a projector,
Mm-hmm.
whiteboard, the necessities that you need to teach. You're provided with that, and a document reader as well, right? But as it pertains to the students, as I said before, they're provided with resources, and I think overall, especially in my field of science, I am provided with all the resources that I need. If you look behind me, you can see some textbooks. We're also given a copy of the textbooks, so we can use them. From my experience, you can use them from home to plan your lessons. Lessons are provided on the school system, but you may choose to tailor the lessons to your liking or to change it, well, keeping the structure of the organization, but still, putting your personal touches on it as well.
You're really reading my mind. I was just going to ask you what's the workload like in terms of planning lessons and all of that, and giving tests and exams and marking and all of that. What's the workload like, especially comparing to Jamaica? So,
Well,
oh,
from
yeah.
From my experience, it's a lot easier than teaching in Jamaica. But that I may be biased because I taught at KC, and KC wasn't it was amazing, amazing experience for me just out of college, but it was very, very difficult, teaching on the holidays, sometimes leaving school 9 p.m., all of those things. So it's a lot easier for me because I taught at a traditional school before where the demand was very high.
Mm-hmm.
But here, as I said before, the lessons are provided for you online. And if it's not, from what I've heard from other people, you plan in groups. So it's a lot easier. I personally don't use the lessons from a system, or I may use a part of the lesson and I add my own stuff to it. So it's always going to be more work when you decide to, go against the grain. I put animations in my slides and do all sorts of craziness in my lessons. So I spend extra time to plan. As it pertains to marking exam papers, usually what I do from my experience, from my experience is that I need to emphasize my experience.
Yes,
And
yes,
someone,
that
if you're hearing me, you can message me and let me know what, from your experience, what you want me to share about marking. But for
yes.
example, at the end of every chapter, we do a end of unit test. And I personally allow my students to mark. They're very efficient marking their own work or peer assessing their work. So they mark their end of unit test. I may go over it to check if they have marked it properly. um the things that I really mark are the mock exams for like year 10 and year 11 students,
Yeah.
because they can't mark those things, so marking those. And we also have something that's some interim marking. Every From my school, every 8 lessons you have to do some form of interim marking, where you go into the books, you write a question for them to answer, and based on how they answer those questions, you give them another question. So that's really, it is not a lot of marking. And I've heard of schools that have even less marking than my school. So it's not bad at all.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I have a similar experience here in Kuwait. Lesson plans are provided, and of course, you can tweak it, as Kedesha said. They do a lot of group planning here as well. So I think the workload is a lot less than in Jamaica. I know as Jamaicans, we just go full on in everything, right? But it's a little bit, I mean, you still have to do your job, still have to get things done, but the load is a lot less internationally than in Jamaica. All right, I have a few questions left. In the meantime, if you have questions, if there's anything that we did not cover, I didn't even ask Kedisha how long she could stay, but we're coming down nicely. I see a few questions in the chat. I'm going to bring them up soon. All right, so I wanted to ask about dress code as teachers. Like, is it like the same in Jamaica? Going to work, anything different as how we dress? I know as Jamaicans, we probably don't really dress any different, but like the culture, the school culture for teachers, what is it like in terms of dress code?
Well, for the most part, we follow a similar dress code to Jamaica, but I've seen teachers in like normal pants and a sweater at the top, something like that. Yeah, so the not every teacher, because teachers even who well, non-Jamaican teachers also get dressy and fancy and all of that. Jamaicans dress up to go to work, but you do have the teachers that are just meh. Hmm.
Uh, yeah,
But it's still,
true.
you still have to ensure that you have, the essential areas covered.
Mhm.
Yes, but you can dress somewhat casually, but we decide that we're not going to do that. No.
Yeah, similar to here, you can dress as comfortable as you want. You can just put on a regular pants and a sneakers and a shirt and you just head to work, right? That's how most of the persons here dress. But as Jamaicans, it's just not enough to go to work like that. So we're gonna, of course, ensure that we're fully dressed. All right. This is my last question. Would you
Okay.
recommend teaching and living in the UK um, to others? And before you say it, based on your experience.
Based on my experience, I would definitely recommend teaching and living in the UK. It's a different experience, and it's an experience for your personal growth. And if you have your spouse and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to leave my wife or my husband, of course you can take them along and yes, build your
Yeah,
life here.
yeah, and it might be easier for you to take your spouse and your um, family with you. Would the school help in that process, or you would have to do it on your own? If you have both a spouse and kids, maybe a child or two.
All right, so before I came here, I was told that, oh, you go first and then you apply for your husband to come after. But I decided no, if my husband is not going, I'm not going. So no, because it really does help when you come here and everything is so new. It helps to have
That's
someone familiar. and someone there to comfort you, you know.
Okay.
So let's see. Hmm, Connie, you know what? I forgot the question.
I was asking what's the process like if you want to take your spouse, your family with you, what's the process like? Will the school help or you can do it on your own?
Okay, so yeah. So the point I was making before I forgot is that try to apply for your spouse the same time you are applying, because the school will sponsor both you and your spouse. So the
Okay.
school will cover to say that yes, we're going to take care of them when they get here, even though they're not going to take care of you. But you know, so you don't have to prove the amount of money that you can sustain yourself for 6 months.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Sounds good. All right. So that's basically my last question. So for those persons, if you have, we'll take a few questions and then we're going to wrap up soon because we want to get back to our Saturday afternoon. Although it's like almost my bedtime,
What time is
but
it there?
now it's like some minutes after 9 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
What
Yeah.
time is it for you?
It's 6:51 p.m. here.
Okay, so it's earlier for you. All right. I'm going to take some questions now. All right. Tamisha Roberts asks, what's the curriculum like? Is it
Oh,
anything similar to the one in Jamaica or what is it like?
hmm. So yes, we follow a very similar curriculum, but I do think that the Jamaican curriculum is way more difficult. Because for example, some things I teach in science here, um, my students in Jamaica would have had to know like way more details to answer the questions than they do here. Yeah, so that's it. The
Yeah,
curriculum is a lot different.
it's the same because I'm currently teaching at a British school here. And even though a lot of things are similar, the curriculum in Jamaica goes way more in depth. I don't know why Jamaica's stressing the kids out, but I love the Jamaican curriculum. I think it's good to go in depth, but all right. So it's similar. So if you can handle the curriculum in Jamaica, you can handle it anywhere else. You can teach anywhere else, right? So that's
Oh
what I
yeah.
love.
Also, if you're a science teacher, you may teach your area of specialization, but you may not. You may have to be flexible. I'm a chemistry teacher. I was trained in chemistry and math, and I'm teaching chemistry, physics, and bio. So sometimes when I'm going to my physics lesson, I have to teach myself the information first and then teach my students. So you have to be very flexible as well when it comes on to getting here.
I know the feeling. Trust me. All right. MS Poshi and Sassy's asking, did you do an interview with your employer? If so, what is it like? And what were some of the all right? So this question has a few parts. So first
Okay.
thing, did you do an interview with the school first before leaving Jamaica?
Yes, I did.
All right. What was it like?
All right. So my interview, I had it on Skype, and the entire time we were having difficulties logging in. As you know, technology always acts up when you're supposed to do something productive. So I was not able to see them on camera, but they were able to see me. So I went ahead with the interview. The most they're not intimidating at all. I know lots of Jamaican interviews. Well, from my experience, a lot of Jamaican interviews, they're like, hmm, I am the interviewer, you're the
Yes.
interviewee,
Yeah.
that type
That's
of thing.
true.
It's very uncomfortable. But here it's very relaxed.
Relax.
You don't have to be nervous. They're not going to be aggressive towards you or anything. They'll mostly focus on, are you a student-centered type of teacher? That is very important for them. One thing I did say to them in my interview was that at Kingston College, I usually meet my students at the door to greet them. And they were so impressed by that. I did not even
Yeah.
know that that was a policy at my school, that you must meet your students at the door. You
Awesome.
may have to talk about how you teach a particular topic in science. You may or may not have to talk about that. You don't have to go into any particular detail, but ensure whatever you do must be student centered.
Yes, they're big on that in Kuwait as well, right? So you might want to have a few strategies in mind that you will share with them during the interview. All right. Kimonia is asking how much is deducted from tax from your salary per month. But I think you already mentioned some stuff in terms of tax and all of that.
Oh,
But maybe you can make a comment on this. You don't have to
yes,
anything specific, but just a
yes.
general idea.
Kimona, thank you for asking that question. I can't believe I forgot to say this. All right, so the UK government and the Jamaican government has some form of negotiation, and it is that we are not taxed for the first 2 years of being here. No tax for the first two
Awesome.
years.
That's
Yes.
good.
So my 2 years is going to be next month. So I don't know just yet how much tax they will take, but from experience, some other people who I have spoken to in London and other areas in the UK, they say around 200, 300 pounds. So I don't know what my tax will be like. I'm not sure. I'm not taxed yet. I'm living tax free. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. 2 years tax free. Definitely a plus. All right. All right. Kema is asking, how can I apply to work in the UK? Right. You did share some website, but you can just quickly reshare that information with us.
Okay. All right. So you can type Hourglass Education into Google and you see an email address for them, as well as a telephone number that you may call directly. You can ask for my contact, which is James. He's the person I usually speak to. But whoever you get when you call, they will help you. Quantum Scholars is another agency that I know of. I've applied with them before, but as I said before, I got through with Hourglass Education. And of course, if you need some information, you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, or you may email me at kedishachem@gmail.com, and I can always forward your resume or your CV to James.
All right, awesome. And I'll try to get all that information to leave in the description at the end of the live. All right. Kimonia is asking if a person is on MOE scholarship, can they go on the program before repaying them? Does the program goes through any Jamaican ministry? All right. So what she's asking is the fact that some persons took scholarship from the Ministry of Education to study, and these scholarships normally um, um, I think it then normally like stipulate that you have to stay work in the country for a number of years, right? So she's basically asking if you can still go in on the program, or if so, for example, if Hourglass, are they connected with any ministry in Jamaica? I'm not sure if I made that any clearer, but it's
Mhm.
on the screen.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Mm, not that I know of, but how long, Kimona, tell me, how long are
yeah,
you, you know,
how
in
long
order
do
for
you
you
have
to fulfill
to stay
your
in
obligations, how long do they require you to stay in Jamaica? Is it
Jamaica?
5 years, 2 years? What is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it all depends on that. So Kimonia, if you're here and you want to share that, definitely share it with us so that we can better understand your question
Yeah, and you can call Hourglass or email them and find out to
and
say,
find out.
yeah.
All right. Um, can you use your sponsorship to carry your spouse and children? We spoke about that as well. Um, any quick comment on this? I think this person probably was not here when we were talking about that.
Oh, yes, definitely, you can. It will be very, I have a coworker that she got her children up after her family up after she came. But as I said before, it's recommended by my personal experience, recommended that you apply at the same time. You will, of course, have to pay 3 years IHS, which is their health surcharge. It is £600,
Mhm.
600 plus pounds per year, and you'll have to pay for 3 years for yourself, 3 years for your spouse, 3 years for each of your children. So you'll have to do that. So you'll have definitely, whether you decide to get a loan or borrow the money from your family members, you will have to pay. But the good thing is that as soon as you get to the country, 60 days after you get here, you can apply for a refund for the 2 years, right? So you pay for 3 years, you get a refund for 2 years. You get that back into your bank account.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. All right. Marique leaves a very useful tip here. He says interviewer will ask about how you keep children safe, what is your strong point in teaching, and the regular stuff like what is a good teaching strategy that you use. So definitely thank you for that tip. All right.
Thank you, Marique. Thank
Yeah,
you. Safeguarding is a very big issue here. Not issue, a very big thing
thing.
here. They
Yeah.
promote it a lot.
I
If
think
a
it
student comes to, oh, sorry, Connie, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's I think for the UK, because the British school where I'm teaching now, I had to do some courses on safeguarding and all of that. So yeah,
Yes,
very
if a child comes to you and say, for instance, oh, miss, I feel uncomfortable sitting beside so and so, or you have to report it. It doesn't matter how simple it seems, you have to report it.
all right. Did you have to teach in your interview or walk them through a lesson?
Um, they told me to choose a topic that I would feel comfortable teaching and just to walk them through how I would go about teaching the lesson. Not actually teaching it, but just walk them through it. And I did. So I'm not sure
Oh,
if that's a requirement for right across the board. Marique, if you know, you can let me know. But
mhm.
for me, it was just walking them through the process.
All right. So you can definitely prepare for that just in case. All right. Did you get interviewed only by one school or was it multiple schools?
For me, it was so initially Hourglass came to Jamaica and I had to do a mock interview per se. I, of course, went to the interview with my props. I took
Mhm.
experiments and all sorts of things to my interview. So they were
Right.
so impressed. So I'm assuming that when they found that school, I think it would have been a good match for me. And so that was the only school I interviewed with. So I'm assuming that if the school is not a good match, because that is their aim to ensure it is a good match. If it's not a good match for you or the school, I'm assuming you will have other interviews.
Okay, awesome. All right. So Kimonia said she's bonded to the country for 5 years, but you can pay them off. And I think someone mentioned that um coming to the UK you can pay off loans in no time. So if you want to
No
do
time
that
at
and
all.
pay them off, then you can definitely do that. All right, Latana is asking an interesting question. Do I have to be married first to take my partner with me? So if you're not married, can you take your partner with you? Do you have any idea about that?
A colleague of mine recently told me that her partner was going to come here and they're not married at all. So it might be a possibility. I'm not sure. But if you contact Hourglass, I'm sure they'll able to give you more information as it pertains to that.
Okay. All right. I hope it's not like Kuwait, because Kuwait is a Muslim country, so you definitely got to be married. So if you ain't married, you can't take your spouse with you. But I don't think well, I can't speak for UK any at all because I don't have the experience there. But as Kedesha said, once you contact Hourglass, they will be able to give you all the necessary information. All right, coming down nicely. Just a few more questions, and then we're gonna go. Hi, Tony Shea. Um,
Is that our Tony Shea?
yes, yes,
Oh, Tony.
Tony Shea. She's here. Welcome. All right. Uh, what is the work hours like?
All right. So I work from 8:15, 8:15 to 3:15.
Okay.
So school begins at 8:30 and ends at 3. I know my friend in London, she works from, I know our work day ends at 4. I'm not sure what time it begins. And there are some times that you may have to leave at 4 if the school has any extracurricular activities.
Okay, awesome. All right. Andrea Burke says you do not have to be married. All right. So that's something to bear in mind for someone who had that question previously. All right. Latanya said, were the pre-math and English tests hard? I'm not sure if you had to do any pre-math or English tests. We're
No,
not sure of that, Latanya. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions at the moment. So in the meantime, I want to take the time to thank you, Kedesha, for joining us. We learned a lot today. It was extremely informative, and I think that all that you have shared can help to inform us to make a decision if we want to move to the UK or not. Because I might even move to the UK to teach in the next year or two, because I don't plan to stay in Kuwait for much longer. But the information is definitely useful, and we're grateful. I'm grateful for the time you took to come and speak with us. Uh, Kedesha also has a YouTube channel. Yes, so I want you all to go over there and subscribe, right? I want you to go and subscribe so that when she upload next, you all can go over there and support her. What's the name of your channel again, Kedesha?
it is Kedesha Blake-Huggins. I'm trying to build my personal brand, Connie. So I've used my
So,
name.
all right. So just Google Kedesha Blake um Huggins on YouTube, and you'll find her channel, right? Subscribe. If you have questions, you can contact her on Facebook at Kedesha Blake Huggins, just the same, right? Am I right? And
Yes,
it's the
yes.
same on Instagram um, as well. So it's Kedesha Blake Huggins. Me.
And also via email, if you want to forward your resume to me, I can send it directly to my contact at the agency. So that's kedishachem@gmail.com.
All right, so Kedesha Blake Huggins on all major platforms, right? Could you repeat that email address again, please?
Okay, so it's Kedisha. And my name is on the screen, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it's kedishachem@gmail.com.
All right, awesome. So you can send her, forward your resume to her if you are interested, and she can forward it to a recruiter. All right, one last question before we wrap it up. How long did it take for you to find out if you got the job? I think you were talking about that earlier, but go ahead and comment on it.
All right. So as I said before, I did the interview, like the mock interview. I don't remember. Was it Pegasus Hotel that we did the interview? Um in February. I did not hear from them. And then in April, I heard I heard from the recruiter in April to say that there's a job that is available. And I applied. I sent in my information the Friday, and then by the Monday I had an interview, and then that was it. So right away I got through. And usually April is not a normal recruitment time. It's not the common recruitment time, but that's when I
Mm-hmm.
got through. But usually, you'll
Yeah.
hear back in a very short while, if there are schools available. And of course, because of COVID last year, the agency shared with me that they were not able to recruit a lot of teachers, the travel restrictions and all of that. So they're definitely going all out this year to recruit. So get on board.
Awesome. All right. I think there is some form of English and math test. Um,
Really?
Dacian, Daisy here is saying that the English test, math and English tests weren't hard, but don't underestimate them, especially if math isn't your strongest point. So maybe that might apply to some other program. You might not, probably you didn't do it, Kedisha, but
Mm.
other persons do it based on their experience, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've
All
never
right.
heard about a math or an English test before, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Latanya is just checking to see if she got your email address correct. Kedesha
Oh
Kem,
no. Oh,
KEM at gmail.com.
it's Kedesha CHEM, as in chemistry, chem, CHEM
Oh,
at gmail.com.
Chem, as in
Mm.
chemistry.
Yes.
Kedesha Kem um, at gmail.com. All right. All right, I think this question is for me. Why do I want to leave Kuwait? How long do I spend? Because I want to experience other countries as well. So I know persons who have taught in 5, 6, 7 different countries. So if I do a time in Kuwait and I decide that I want to try UK, then I might very well just try it, right? Because I want to. So it's no specific reason. It's just that I would love to try, love to teach in other countries as well. All right, guys, I think we have come
Hold
to
on,
the
Connie.
end.
I getting some information for you.
All right,
My friend in London says that you have to do English test to get your qualified teacher status.
okay, I think
But
that's
I
what
did not do one
we're.
because there are two methods. If you have a education degree,
Mhm.
I'll tell you all about that later. But let me give you an overview. You can apply through Scotland, and that qualifies you in a very short period of time, less than a month. But if your degree is from maybe not in humanities, say you're a science major at UWE or so, then you have to go the other method for your QTS, right? Which is a longer method similar to our teaching practice method, where you have to compile a folder and evidence and be assessed by different people. So that's another method. But if you have your degree in education, you don't have to go that long method. You can apply through Scotland, and in a month or so, you have your QTS.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you for making that clear. Latania, I hope you got your response. All right, so that's it, guys. Kimonia says thank you. Special thanks to my senior lady. That's you, Kadisha.
Oh
You
yes.
never disappoint.
Hold on, but Connie, you're a senior lady as well, so you're sure it was me for
I'm sure it's you. Tamisha is saying the same. Big up to my madam senior lady. All right. Definitely. So thank you so much. Um, Latanya say you're her senior lady as well. So you have a lot of your ladies here on
Yes,
this.
I'm so proud of them as well. I see that I see all of you on Facebook. I know you're doing very well. I'm so proud of you.
Awesome. So thank you, Kedisha. Thank you. God bless you. Um, and I'm grateful for having you today. Thanks to all those who joined us. Big up to Marie, Andre Burke. There are some other persons in the chat answering.
Amana.
Yes, answering question about um teaching in the UK. So thank you guys. Your input were definitely valuable. And yep. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to Kedisha's YouTube channel. And we will be here if you have questions. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to just shoot us any question. Any final word from you, Kedisha, before we go?
Well, Connie, I hope we will be collaborating in the future because I'm going to get my YouTube channel up and running again. Yes.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, and I just want to encourage everyone. Connie has several people coming on this platform to speak about. I believe the first one was teaching in China,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Then you have teaching in the US as well coming up, and teaching in Japan.
Yes,
You have
yes.
done one on teaching in Kuwait, so definitely check around for the best option. What's the best fit for you?
For you.
We can only speak from our experiences, so you have to do your research. And guess what? Don't feel bad that you're leaving Jamaica. We're leaving to get some additional knowledge as well, because some of us are going back in the next couple of years to contribute to the education system.
Oh,
So
yes.
just do your best and ensure you have a plan for everything before you do it. A plan A, B, C, D. And that's it from me, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Kadesha. And this is where we will leave you for today. God bless you. Bye. God bless you.
Bye.
And see you next time. All right. Bye. Thank you.